Dear students, in this video lecture we are going to discuss about CSS selectors, that is Cascade Style Sheeting Selectors. We know the syntax of a Cascade Style Sheet definition. A style rule is made up of three parts: selector, property and value. Selector means it's an HTML component at which a style is applied. This could be any tag like h1 or table, p, etc. Property means it's an attribute of HTML tag. All HTML attributes are converted into CSS properties. They could be color, border, width, height, etc. Value. Values are assigned to properties. That is, value is the data related to property. So in this session, we are going to discuss about the different types of selectors. So selector means is the HTML tag at which the style should be defined. Selector forms. The selector can have a variety of forms. The selector can be of simple selector form, class selector, generic selector, IED selectors, contextual selectors, pseudo selectors, universal selectors, and we are going to explore these selectors one by one. First one is simple selector. The simplest selector form is a single element name such as h1. The property values in the rule apply to all occurrences of the named element. The selector could be a list of element names separated by commas, in which case the property values apply to all occurrences of all the named elements. So this is the simplest form. In this, a single element where the style can be applied. In this case, the property values in the rule apply to all the occurrences of the corresponding HTML element. Here we are having two examples. Consider the first example, h1 property value list. So the first example is a simple selector where the selector is h1. It simply specifies some property value list, and this property value list is applied for h1 tag. Now see the second example. In the second example, we are having two selectors h2 and h3. h2 and h3 are separated by commas. This means that both the tags h2 and h3 follows the same property value list. So the thing is that the property value list is applicable for both h2 and h3. So wherever this h2 and h3 is used in the corresponding HTML document, this corresponding style definition will occur. Now move on to the, now we can see the class selector. Class selectors are used to allow different occurrences of the same element to use different style specifications. A style class is defined in a style element by giving the style class a name which is attached to the element's name with a period. So in this case, this class selector is applicable in the situation where we are having a single element with multiple style definitions. If we need a single element with multiple style definitions, then we can use this class selector. So this allows different occurrences of the same tag to use different style specifications. A style class is defined in a style element by giving the style class a name which is attached to the element's name with a period. So consider the example. In this example, we are having we are going to give two style definitions for paragraph, that is P tag. We are giving two style definitions for P tag, and for that we defined the paragraph style specification as two style classes. One class is termed as normal class and another class is termed as warning class. So P dot normal, then a property value list is there. Then P dot warning, a property value list is there. So within the document body, the particular style class that you want is specified with the class attribute of the affected element. So in the preceding example, the paragraph element is, if you are using the P normal and P warning in our HTML document, how we can apply this two classes. If you are going to apply the normal, the syntax is P tag, then you have to specify class attribute, class is equal to normal. So what all things are specified in the P dot normal selector or P dot normal style definition? That property value list should be applicable for the text in that particular paragraph. So a paragraph of text that we want to be presented in normal presentation style. So the thing is that this P dot normal will be applicable for this paragraph. And another example is there, P class is equal to warning. A paragraph of text that is warning to the reader, we should be presented in an especially noticeable style. So for this particular text, it will use the class warning, means the style definitions that are specified in this property value list are applied to this particular text. So this is about class selector. Now comes the generic selectors. Sometimes it is convenient to have a class of style specifications that applies to the content of more than one kind of element. So this is done by using a generic class which is defined without an element name in its selector. Without the element name, the name of the generic class begins with a period as in the following generic style class. Here there is an example, dot sale property value list. So this generic selectors should be easy if we have a class of style specification that can be used for more than one kind of tag. And this can be done by the generic class which is defined without a tag name in its selector. Instead of that, it will start with a period symbol followed by class name. So here dot sale property value list. So instead of using any HTML tag, we start the corresponding style definition with dot symbol or period symbol. Then comes the class name, then declaration block. Inside the declaration block, the property value list is there. So wherever we are going to apply this particular class of style definition, inside that tag, we have to specify the class as sale. So now in the body of the document, you could have the following marker, H3 class is equal to sale. So what happens to the text in H3 is it will appear in the style specification that is given in sale class or sale selector. So the property value list of sale will be applicable for the text in H3. And the same class can be applicable for same class style definition can be applicable for paragraph, or it can be used for different headers. Now we can see the ID selector. An ID selector allows the application of a style to one specific element. The general form of an ID selector is as follows: hash specific ID, then property value list. So this selector allows application of a style to one specific element only, and it will be started with the general syntax of this ID selector is it should start with a hash symbol, then comes the ID name, then declaration block. Inside the declaration block we can specify the property value list. As you would probably guess, the style defined in the ID selector applies to the element with a given ID. For example, consider the following selector hash session 14 property value list. So we can use this session 14 ID with any of the tags. Here it is used with H2 tag. H2 ID is equal to session 14, then 1.4 calico cats slash H2. So what happens here it is this particular text 1.4 calico cat should appear in the style appear with the style specification specified with ID session 14. Now we can see the next type of selectors, that is contextual selectors. Selectors can specify in several different ways that the style should apply only to elements in certain positions in the document. The simplest form of contextual selector is the descendant selector. Element B is a descendant of element A if it appears in the content of A. In this situation, A is the ancestor of B. So in this style, the contextual selector should apply only to the elements in certain positions in the document. This is known as descendant selectors. For example, element B is a descendant of element A if the element B appears in the content of A. Then we can say that B is the descendant and A is the corresponding ancestor. A particular element can be selected by listing one or more of the ancestors of the element in the selector with only white space separating the element names. So if we want to select a particular element by listing one or more its ancestors, then we can specify that condition by using white space in the selector. For example, the following rule applies its style only to the content of ordered list elements that are descendants of unordered list elements in the document. So here there is an example UL property value list. UL space OL property value list. So this is an example for descendant selector. This means that the property value list should be applicable for ordered list items only if they are members of unordered list. So the idea is that we are having an unordered list. If that unordered list contains values for ordered list, if that unordered list contains an ordered list, then the elements of ordered list can have this property value definition. That is descendant selector. There should be some condition. The condition is that element B is a descendant of element A if it appears in the content of A. In this situation, A is the ancestor of B. There should be some relationship between these elements. Here, OL property value list means OL should be considered or OL should appear inside UL. Such type of OL elements or OL data can have this property value list. Only that type of ordered elements can have this property value list. In addition to that descendant selector, we are having another selector called child selector. CSS includes a child selector. For example, the following selector applies to LI elements only if they are children of OL elements. The style selectors are represented by a greater than symbol. OL greater than LI property value list. So here the situation is that the corresponding the rule should be applied only when Li is the children of OL. So this property value list should be applicable for only the elements of ordered list. So we are having an example. In this example, you can see that an ordered list is started with first listing value. Then after that, unordered list is started with another listed. One list is there, one listing value is there. Then unordered list is closed. Then another list element is placed. After that, ordered list is closed. So if you are defining a property like this, ordered list greater than Li property value list. So this property value list should be only applicable for direct children of OL. So for this particular code snippet, this property value list should be applicable for the first Li. Here it is applicable because it is a direct child of ordered list. For the second Li, second Li is actually the child of UL. So this property value list cannot be applied here. The third Li is a child of OL. So for the first and third Li, this property value list will be applicable. The second one is the child of unordered list. So this property value list cannot be applicable. Child selectors can be specified over any number of elements in a family hierarchy. For example, the following selector selects EM elements that are children of H1 elements that are children of paragraph elements. We can specify the parent-child relationship in a hierarchy. Example, P greater than H1 greater than EM, then a property value list is specified. So this particular property value list should be applicable for EM tag, which comes in H1 tag. This H1 is specified in a paragraph. If the paragraph contains an H1 tag and if H1 tag includes an EM tag, the font inside that EM tag should follow this property value list. The first child selector specifies the first child of the element to whose name it is attached. Another thing for style specification is we can specify the name of the child. For example, P colon first hyphen child property value list. So this is a kind of style definition. This style definition should be applicable for the paragraph's first child. This type of style definition can also be possible. P colon first child. Now comes the pseudo selectors or pseudo classes. Pseudo classes specify that certain styles apply when something happens rather than because the target element simply exists. The two pseudo classes for style links are link and visited. The link pseudo class is used to style a link that has no field selected. Visited is used to style a link that previously has been selected. The style of the H over pseudo class applies when it is associated element has the mouse cursor over it. So this type of style is defined for some event, that is, if any change occurs in some part of the web page, if any differences occurs, then this corresponding style should happen. For example, in the anchor tag, we can specify different colors for visited link, unvisited link, mouse over link. Likewise, the style of the H over pseudo class applies when it is associated element has mouse cursor over it. So the H over pseudo class is the element where mouse cursor over it. Browsers often use blue as the default color for unvisited links and red or purple for visited links. When using H over pseudo class, changing the size of an element from its initial size, for example, by enlarging or shrinking the font size can lead to problems. For example, if the font size is made larger, the larger size could cause the element to overflow the area reserved for it in the display, causing the whole document to be rearranged. That would likely annoy the user. Whereas the names of client classes and generic classes begin with a period. The names of pseudo classes begin with a colon. For example, the selector for the H over pseudo class applied to an H2 element is as follows: H2 colon H over property value list. So anytime the mouse cursor is positioned over an H2 element, the style defined in the given property value list are applied to the contents of H2 element. This is pseudo class. So next is the universal selector. The universal selector is denoted by asterisk. It applies its style to all the elements in a document. For example, if you wanted every element in a document to have a particular set of properties, we could include the following star. Then inside the declaration block, you have to specify what should be the property value list. So wherever whatever tags we are using in an HTML document, and if we specify this style property, all the contents in the web page should follow this property value list. So this is about the universal selectors. Hope you enjoyed the different types of selectors session. Thank you.